Hey budget buds, welcome back to another video. And if this is your first time to this channel, hey, my name is Natasha. Welcome to this little budget where we save for the big things in life on a little budget. So based on the title of this video, I am going to be showing you how to set up a monthly budget, your monthly budget. I'm going to be using my exact numbers that I would, and I'm going to budget out for the month of August. I am going to show you very real numbers. What you won't see is my beginning salary amount. So what I mean by that is I'm going to just show you what I budget from after I take out my tithes and after I take out some other savings and some other things, just because I want to keep that personal to me. There are going to be, if you're not new here, there are going to be some changes in that I am no longer doing the 100 envelope challenge. And I will link that video in the cards above, and talking about why I opted to stop doing it and what some of my goals are. So I am going to grab my trusty calculator here for when I need to be doing some calculations. These stickers or this budget kit is from erikalifevlogs. I'm going to link her channel and her shop below. If you hear a little voice, that is my little human, my daughter. And this is just an opportunity that I have to film, so you may hear her more often than not. So I got the large washi along with the August setup. And then the other thing that I got just for the August was the sinking funds tracker. She's already released her September, her releases for September, and I got a lot more stuff, so I cannot wait to show you in some upcoming videos how my setup is going to be a little different for the month of September. Making sure I'm still recording. All right, without further ado, let's get started. So first things first, you need to know when setting up your monthly budget, all of the money that is going to be coming in. So whether that is your regular job, whether you have side hustles, whatever money that you have coming in, you need to make note of that. I work a full-time job and I get paid semi-monthly, meaning I get paid the 15th of the month and whatever the last day of the month is, whether that's the 30th or the 31st. The only exception to getting my check sooner than that is if any one of those days fall on a Saturday or Sunday, I get paid the Friday before that time. So I know for the month of August, the 15th does fall on a Sunday. So I am going to be getting paid on the 13th, and I'm going to be getting paid on the 31st. So that is 2 times. Again, I don't work any side hustles. I don't have any money coming in from anywhere else, with the exception of my full-time job. So I'm going to place here, you'll see expected and actual. And so I've been able to calculate what my under my new salary, what I'm going to get, but I'm still going to just put expected because it can be a few cents off, whatever the case may be. And especially if you work a part-time job where you get paid hourly, and you can work fewer hours, you can work more hours, you can pick up a shift for someone, thinking about within that pay period, what do you expect to get paid? And because we know life happens, we have to maybe call out, emergencies come up, things happen. And so that may be different from your actual pay. So for both paychecks, I expect to bring in $1,951.77 each time. Hopefully you all can see that. And so, although my washi's a little off, I'm going to then multiply that by 2. And now the vacuum is running, guys. Sorry about that. All right, I'm back, guys. Filming on a Sunday. Bae decided to run the vacuum. So based on calculation, so taking what I expect for one check and multiplying that by 2, I am gonna have $3,903.54 to work with. Now, the idea here is that whatever you pay for your bills and expenses, you want to have this be less than this amount. You do not want what goes out to be more than what comes in, because then we have to figure out how I'm gonna get some more money or how I'm gonna lessen up my bills. So I'm going to list out all of my bills and expenses. I'm going to be looking off to the side because I got my little cheat sheet so that I do not forget anything. And of course, here's what's budgeted and what's actual. For all of my expenses, I have the actual amount. I do not pay. I do live with my boyfriend until he takes care of like cable, which is the same amount, and our electric, our gas, light, water, whatever that, that combo. And so he manages that. If I were having to budget for that, and because the amount changes from one bill to the next, a rule of thumb is that you can take the average of your last 3 months bill amount, sorry guys, and figure out what your range or monthly expense is going to be so that you are not under budgeting and then are caught off guard when the bill does get here and it costs more than what you had put aside. So I'm going to put the calculator to the side and I'm going to start writing out my bills and expenses. All right, I'm back. So now I've written out all of the bills and expenses that are going to come out of my, or that I pay for within the month. As for my last cash stuffing, guys, you know that I got rid of my Children's Place card. And that was, again, part of the goals that I mentioned, that I would pay off all of the bills that had, or my credit card bills that had the small balances, so that I can really start thinking about building my buffer as well as paying down debt for some of my larger bills. So for rent, that stays the same. And guys, I actually forgot some information here, and see, this is why it's good to really write everything down. So because my boyfriend and I, we take care of certain bills like on our own separately. Like that was a decision that we made in the beginning. One thing that we do split is rent. And so the rent comes out of my account, but I get that extra amount. And so I really should have been adding this amount plus that $640. So my bad. I'm actually going to white this out. I'm not going to write over it just because it'll get a little messy, but I will write it right here. So this is really $4,543.54. Okay. Because I was going to end up in a situation where I was paying out more money than what was coming in, but I forgot that piece. So for my car note, I do add a little extra towards that. I think it was a subscriber, JB's 2 cents, had suggested that I start to split this across both of my checks. And I'm going to definitely do that for my September budget so that I don't have just this huge amount, because this usually comes out of one check and that is a pretty large amount. So I am going to start thinking about having that be split. Car insurance. I know people sometimes round up to the nearest dollar. I am not one of those people. I put the exact amount just because it is helpful for me to know that. This is going to get 30, 150, 30, And guys, I messed up again, right? Just the joys of budgeting. I now pay for, so sidebar, we have a bearded dragon. It's a lizard, and his name's Bruce. And Lauren, my daughter, is fascinated with Bruce. So right now, Bruce is outside of his tank, and she is having she's having a lot of fun. And he ran in here, she ran in behind him, and so that is why you hear her little giggles. So I did add a Canva Pro. So this, which was $12.99 a month. So this actually goes up from the last time, from $68 to about $81. I save for my daughter, and I treat that as an expense so that it is something that I do not compromise on and that it always happens. I am a part of a Black Greek letter organization. I don't know why I had to think about that. And I save for that too, like it is a bill. If you are a part of any organization, you know that you pay to be in that organization. And so maintaining my financial status means that I have to make sure that I save for that. Again, if you're new here, I am saving for a house. And so I do put aside a set amount each month, for two reasons: so that I can stay consistent in saving, and so that I can also show lenders that I am actively putting money, aside towards this. And I'm going through NACA. So if you are familiar with that program, then you definitely understand what I'm saying. And then one challenge that I've maintained was saving $10 a week. And this was just to push myself to see if I could, now knowing that I was taking my budgeting seriously and knowing that I did have more money than I thought left over, I try to find ways to stash money into my savings. And I do that by $10 a week. I will be paying for the 13th, the 20th, the 27th, and the 6th of September. So that is how I sort of ration out the Fridays. And so that is $40 a month. So now I'm going to tabulate all of these numbers. I'm going to put my calculator back in screen, move this up a little bit. Okay, and so that'll give me a total of $2,939.52. So again, what I have coming in, what I have going out, and what I have going out is less than what I have coming in. So now I know that there are things that I can allocate elsewhere and save for. So coming over here to my cash envelopes, and so these are like my variable expenses, meaning they can change from month to month, check to check. I have kept them relatively the same, and I may need to make some adjustments in the future, but it works for me. So for groceries, that is $300 a month. For gas, that is $100. Spending, I used to give myself $20 a month, and talk about a bus. I was like, that wasn't me being very realistic. So I give myself $100 a month. For food, that is $60 a month. So food, this is just purely eating out. Lauren gets spending money. So again, what I save for her can remain savings, and then I can have some dollars in my wallet just in case we go to like Dollar Tree or the dollar spot in Target and she's asking for something. I can get it for her without busting up any other of my budget categories. And so that's $20 a month. And then for miscellaneous, that is $10 a month. And so that is going to give me, this is 5, 60, 80, 90, $590. Coming over to, I just got a lot of like empty negative space. I got to work on really kind of just setting up my budget a little better than this, but that's okay. Making sure you can still see this. So for miscellaneous, so I'm going to show you, well, before I get to miscellaneous, guys, I apologize. I'm actually going to show you what I'm going to be working with. So 45, 43, 54 minus my 29, 39, 52. So I'm left with 1604.02 minus what I put in my cash envelopes, that 590. So I'm left with 1014.02. So I like to just make a little note of that. So for my 26-week challenge, and this is so that I save $1,000. For this month, it is going to be $138. I'm saving for Christmas using a challenge. I know next year when I reset this, I'm just going to have a set amount that I save for Christmas every check. The challenge was nice. I enjoyed actually starting it and being able to get through towards the end. I just hate the amounts changing, and some months are more money set aside, some months are less money set aside. So I am just going to settle on like one set amount. But for the month of August, it is $70. Now, last month, if you remember my budget with me, and I'll link that playlist so that you can see all of my budget with me's. For Christmas, I had to put aside $110 based on the challenge. And now in August, I'm putting aside $70. And so the fluctuation in that is a little annoying sometimes. So I'll just be January, when I reset saving for Christmas, I will just put a set amount aside. And then I am not doing the 100 envelope challenge. So there is that. So I'm going to subtract 138, put this in frame for you guys, minus 70. And I'm left with 806.02. I know for my sinking funds, I'm going to be putting aside $435 this month. So I'm going to subtract 435. That is going to leave me with 371.02 for my extra debt payment. I'm going to be putting aside $200. So I'm going to subtract 2. And then for my buffer, again, in my last video, I said I wanted to set a goal of having a minimum of $750 in my account as just a buffer. And so I can now leave the 171.02. If I tally all of these numbers up, I should get back to the 1014.02. And so let's just see. So bring this over here, 138 plus 70 plus 435 plus 200 plus 171.02. And I indeed get back there. So that essentially puts me at a zero-based budget, meaning it's not that I have $0 left over, which I'm not going to lie, before really doing my research and thinking about how I wanted to commit to a budget and a budget that works for me, I really thought zero base just meant that I wasn't gonna have $0 left over. But the truth is, you do have money, and it is the money that you've allocated for specific things. The idea is that zero based means you've allocated a job or you've delegated a job to every single dollar. And there is no just loose dollar that's hanging around that leads you to the temptation of spending, which then leads you to spending money that already had a job. So I'm going to put so for my budget breakdown, here is my income. And that was $4,543.54. And then I'm just going to put a little minus sign here. My expenses, which was $2,939.52 minus my I feel like I just spelled envelopes wrong, and I did. No, I didn't. Okay, maybe I put an extra E where there wasn't one, but that's okay. So that's $590. And then I'm just going to subtract, and I'm going to just loop all of these categories under miscellaneous. And that was minus the 1,014 and the total remaining is 0. So every single dollar that I'm going to bring in August that I know of, because again, I'm not working any side hustles. My raise from my job had already kicked in, so this is what it is. This is what I'm going to be bringing in, and every single dollar has a job. And as I go through my paycheck budgets, and as I do that the day before I would cash stuff, I can go ahead and verify, one, what the expense should be, I break down what goes into my cash envelopes, and this is just dividing these by 2. The same for my 26-week challenge as well as Christmas. And then for my sinking funds, not every one of my sinking funds gets stuffed every paycheck. I do split it so that this $435 is spread across the month versus coming out of one singular check. And in my August paycheck 1 breakdown, you will see which funds get stuffed in that first check. So this was my monthly budget. Hopefully you enjoyed enough to subscribe and become a budget bud. And as I stated before, I am now on Instagram. So find your girl at This Little Budget. Follow me. I will definitely follow you back, and we can keep the conversation going on over there. Well, until next time, bye budget buds.